Hello and welcome to the show this week. So, as promised, sort of, we do have a show for you. I did manage to wrangle up a couple of guests. We do have Mr. Renard come to join me for discussing the live stream and going over the ability changes. And then we had the myth, the man, the legend himself, Mr. Noble, again to join me to give me a few thoughts on the live stream. And then we dove straight into This Week in Destiny. So, hope you enjoy it, and Peroty and I will catch you in Renegades.
Welcome to the Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast, a show dedicated to bringing you the latest intel, the mightiest news, and the boldest opinions from the farthest reaches of the Sol system. Whether you're a bright-eyed new Guardian, fresh from the Cosmodrome, or a battle-hardened veteran of the Red War, this is your Destiny destination. We'll arm you with tips, tricks, and tower-worthy tools to help you triumph, thrive, and revel in the glory of the fight. So without further ado, let's get on with the show.
So, yeah. The vidIQ was, as always, Bungie, the hype machine, knocking it to 11. I very much liked the vidIQ that they played. It really got me excited about what's coming up. I liked the look of what I saw. I liked the feel of what I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it on the Discord, Star Trek is mine and Noble's favorite franchise, but I mean, to have Han Solo's blaster, to have Chewie's bowcaster, to have an actual lightsaber, I mean, that's reaching deep into our childhood,
Yeah. I think with the vidIQ, they definitely got what they wanted to kind of get across to us. It was that it is Destiny with elements of Star Wars. It's not a Star Wars expansion. It is taken inspiration from that world, and if you're a fan of that world, you're going to really love it. You just all the kind of the little secrets they've put in there and all the kind of things that they've managed to add to it that to kind of give you that feel of Star Wars. But when I was watching it, it was like this is Destiny, and this is what I want to kind of see. This is what I want more of this in the future, kind of thing.
Yeah. And you know where that really came through, and I wasn't expecting it to come through, was when they were talking about the music.
Yep, exactly.
You could see Star Wars themes and Destiny themes melded together, and you got there was one I remember where you got a hint of the Imperial March, but with a Destiny flair on it, and I was like, okay, you've sold me now.
I think that you make like most things with the John Williams score, it really does make that film. I mean, you can just look at any of the films that he scored and just go, yeah, that instantaneously. Superman, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, just like those things with the John Williams-esque of music, and then you can see where they've kind of taken that and just put it into Destiny, and it gives you that rousing feeling to kind of play the game, and it's going to be so exciting to kind of get into the activities and just have that music swelling in the background. And this is where Peroty needs to turn up the volume of the background music and the effects and things, because I think it's just going to be amazing. It's going to draw you in to the game even more than what it was.
Well, right. I mean, look at how much we talk about Deepstone Lullaby and how that literally makes the raid, and the first time I did Deepstone Lullaby or Deepstone Crypt, I was with my old clan, and one of the guys was Sherpaing to me and two other guys, and he did the stereotypical thing. He's like, everybody turn your voice lines down and your music up, and just enjoy. And the music makes the game. And I have a feeling that this is, I mean, it sounded like they spared no expense on the music. for this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and talking of spared no expense, to get Danny Houston to play the big bad, it was like, I think that was my only thought of being a bit more of a gripe with. I would have taken Tom from accounting to voice that in a deep, gruff voice. You don't need Danny Houston. Well, I mean, I suppose to kind of add that gravitas to it for the big bad. But I'm like, you could have saved some budget and paid some developers with that money, kind of thing. That was my only thing that when she got all excited about talking about it, it's like, yeah, I would have loved that. But I think Destiny of old, they could have afforded to do that and generate a bit of hype. I get that, but if he's going to be a one-off baddie for this expansion, it wouldn't have been bad of a thing to kind of get John from down the in the developer thing to kind of voice a real big bad. He's got a big gruff voice, and he could have come in and done that. But
although it was nice to see Alison Lure's fangirl for a moment there when she was talking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take it away from them, and I don't think they saw any of this kind of coming when they developed Renegades with like the job losses and everything else like that. But I was thinking at that point, I could see where some of the money's gone, and it looks phenomenal. The music, the cast, it's like this is. I'm hoping that it's going to pull people back into playing Destiny.
Yes.
I'm not. I mean, I know Noble will probably pick it up and play it, but I'm not sure. Not being a Star Wars fan, how much people are going to want to come back. I mean, when growing up, you kind of don't realize that if you're into Star Wars, you're into Star Wars, and people that aren't into Star Wars just either just don't know about it or they absolutely loathe it. And it's like, I didn't realize there were that many people that just didn't like the idea of Destiny and Star Wars crossing over until now, kind of thing.
I've honestly been shocked. I am one of those people that lives on Reddit, and I have been shocked at the massive amount of pushback by people of I play Destiny. If I want to play Star Wars, I'll go play Battlefield 4 or whatever. I'm not a Star Wars game person, so but I mean it's been a very profound, to even bring a third franchise in. Don't cross my streams. And there's been much further pushback. I mean, I'm honestly, I'm kind of glad because I think, we talk about the break glass moment.
I don't think this is it though. I think this was a kind of like a dream kind of pairing at the time. And I think you've got to look back at it when they were planning Renegades and the Edge of Fate. They didn't know anything about like the layoffs and things. They'd probably just been bought by Sony at that point. And it was all kind of sweetless and lights and roses, and they kind of had these big grand plans. And like Peroty and I have said on the show many a times, it's like you could see where they were going with directing the portal and doing these events and things like that. But what they had planned didn't come to kind of full fruition. Fruition, that's the word.
Yeah,
you could see where they were going with it, but it was only kind of half a version of what could possibly be. I mean, take for instance, we're getting the arena ops the second week of Renegades, when realistically that should have been in there from the get-go with a portal. And they do reiterate that in the live stream, which I'll link in the show notes. If you haven't watched it, it's worth a watch. But it's like little things like that have kind of been missed out of the portal. And I think given the fact that they had more time to develop Renegades since kind of Edge of Fate, and a lot of the stuff that they were showing us in the vidIQ was kind of pre-visualized stuff or stuff that was captured on PC, not game footage and things like that. So, you could see that where they were kind of going, and hopefully they do deliver. And it's something that people that don't like Star Wars are going to really enjoy for just being Destiny, a version of Destiny. And like they were saying, it kind of gave them a different avenue going down, looking at the kind of the syndicates with having different factions of the syndicates. And I mean, when I saw that, I thought, well, we could have gone down that route a long time ago when we had Dead Orbit, New Monarchy, and Future War Cult. That could have been our factions and things. But I like the idea of like the Pikes, the Tharith Reformation, and the Totality Division with all these kind of different things. And it's nice to see it from like not enemy, our past enemies kind of being these different factions, which is quite nice. But it's I think it's something that they wanted to do when we had like factions in Destiny 1, and we got that with quite a lot, where you had to side with that faction and then you would build up your reputation with that faction, and you could get up to X amount of reputation with them and get those exotic class items to drop for each different faction.
I was dead orbit all the way.
So I could see that this is something that they're now building back into in a different direction with like these factions or these syndicates, and then it continues past Renegades, which is what I'd like to see, is something continuing past Renegades that they introduce into Renegades.
Right.
I'm not sure how far it's going to go, but it's yeah.
Well, I also got to say, if I could play Sabak with the I hope that I'm pronouncing that right, with
Sabak,
with the Vex,
yeah,
with the Vex, that will be fun. That will be that they won't they I cried the day they took fishing out, and if they could if the mini game they put back in is playing Sabak with the Vex, I will forgive them.
It looks like you can, and I don't think we knew that we were getting fishing before fishing came, did we? I can't remember 100%. Peroty be able to correct me on that one, but it was like we knew we had mini games at some point, didn't we, with different things.
We knew we were going to get something. And then with the fishing having turned into, you need to do the fishing to get the exotics for the Wicked Implement quest. That was that was interesting.
You could do so much fishing. I think Peroty spent way too long fishing. He got so many unlocked so many of those like challenges. I gave up halfway through doing that. But so playing like a mini game of Sabak would be really cool.
To this day, actually, my my emblem factoid is the number of fish I caught, which is like 17,500. So I'm just enjoying going to the pond on the EDZ and rocking out and turning some music on. So
it would be nice to get some things like that back in the game.
It would. For the rest of it, it looks like I can't tell if they're going all in on what are the things on Kepler's destination abilities. But it definitely sounded like the new things are destination abilities, where you have to press. I'm a console player, so I have to press R3. And I'm a little
skeptical.
Well, I'm an old Final Fantasy 14 player, and when you get so many not cross tabs,
abilities.
No, the crossbars of commands. Suddenly it becomes like mental overload of what do I have to do to get to this, to get to that. And I'm not skeptical. I just want to see that it was done in a good way,
Yeah, I mean, I think they're only going to be part of the bounty system, aren't they? That we're going to get with on the Lawless Frontier part of it. So you go and select what you want to kind of do, the smuggling, the bounty hunting, or the sabotage part of it. Right. And then the invasion is going to be a separate part of it if you want to kind of do those specific things. But then they did say that the one that is red, that the factions are fighting over, is the one that is then going to be able to have the invasions in there as well. But there's going to be risk and reward. That does look fun. But I could see a lot of high-skilled PvP players just going, right, I'm going to be that one, and I'm just going to keep going in here and slaying out. So,
right,
I'm not sure how they're working the matchmaking out for that one or not.
And having more activities is good.
Yes.
I will say this: it did look very busy at times. It looked like there was a lot of stuff going on, and that won't be too bad. Again, I come out of my degrees in computer science, but my focus was on something called human factors. So, the design of software and things like that. And I always sort of professionally look at it a little bit, and it's like, okay, is everybody going to be, it's like with all the buffs, is everybody going to know what's going on? Is everybody going to have the situational awareness of what's going on? And it just,
that is one thing that they've already addressed, isn't it? And I think that's probably the reason, like with Renegades coming up, is that they've gone, right, we're going to simplify this, we're going to make sure this is here, this is there, this is there, and they've kind of conditioned us now already for those things with slight tweaks here and there. So we've been getting used to the new way that the the HUD kind of looks and where the debuffs and the buffs are going to be displayed in the Edge of Fate. So hopefully that will help going into Renegades.
Yes, exactly. So, other than that, the weapons look slick. The new baddies look good. I was not quite sure I was getting sold on the relationship between the 9 and the new guy, but I'm willing to see how that goes. Always liked seeing Drifter get love.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of my gripe about Call to Arms, is that, I was hoping Devrim was going to get some story love, but he did not. But it is nice to see Drifter out there. Of course, when you saw the Han Solo-esque frozen Drifter, I was like, yeah, I knew that was coming.
But it seems to kind of fit with the story, which is quite nice. From what you can kind of piece together from like the vidOCs that they've given us, it was quite interesting, and it's nice to see give Drifter kind of a bit of a backstory as well, because I mean we know him as a Dredgen, and we got a few kind of hints at where he's come from and who he's interacted with in past seasons and expansions.
Yes.
So it is nice to see that come back around again, because when we had I think it was Season of the Drifter? I think it was, wasn't it? In the end they called it.
Yes.
Where we had to kind of choose, your character had to choose whether you wanted to kind of be a Dredgen or you wanted to side with the Vanguard. And it only went so far, and it was like, well, apart from voice dialogue lines where he refers to your character as a snitch, or, you betrayed him, or, you're his favourite kind of Dredgen in kind of Gambit activities, it's like there's nothing else kind of come of that. And it sounds like that's going to actually be part of the story, and whether we have to choose again or we have to make choices in the story now, whether it have kind of repercussions or not, or whether it's kind of a story that will kind of come back around to itself. Because I think that is one of the issues, slightly going off tangent, with Gears of War at the moment. With Gears of War, you had a choice at the end, I think, of Gears of War 5, I think it was, it was 5, to either save or kill a character. And that has got repercussions going into the next game, because where do they take that? Are they then having to develop 2 games and 2 different storylines? And I think that's the problem that Destiny would have if you decided you wanted going to side with the Drifter and there was a storyline that went with the Drifter, or you went with the Vanguard. They'd then have to kind of cater for these 2 different storylines and where your kind of characters are and where they would be. So maybe that's half the reason why we didn't get anything that kind of came to anything.
I'll go back to Final Fantasy XIV. They handle that actually very well. There's been a couple of inflection points on the main story quest where you can make choices that carry through threads, expansion or 2 later. I mean, it's not big, it's not, dramatic, you don't storm off and never see the sign of the 7th Sons or whatever it's again. But the game remembers what you've done, and how people interact with you do subtly change and things like that. And I think it can be done, and it can be done in the context of one game, and really.
But can Bungie do it though? That's the thing we've got to think about with the amount of people they've now got working on Destiny 2, and the low player base that we've had, and the Sony earning calls. Is it something that they could actually develop now, or is it something that they're going to have to do later on if they're going to do it that way?
14 has that entire subscription model. They've got a ton of people in Japan working on it. They've got the ability to do something like that. I don't want to be a pessimist, and I don't want to be a doomsayer, but I do think Sony is looking at Renegades to see how this does to determine what future investments are going to look like.
Yeah.
They would be stupid not to.
I think that's the reason why Bungie have kind of taken like the training wheels off with all the ability changes that we can get to later on.
Yes.
Is that we've now gone back to that space fantasy of like your Guardian is super powerful, but we're just going to throw more enemies at you. There's going to be more things that you're going to have to do, but you are going to be powerful. And I think that's what was kind of missing for quite some time with Destiny, is that they kept stripping us back and saying, there's power creep, there's power creep, and there's power creep. And people have just been asking for like, give us horde modes, really test us, do this, do that. And I think with these with this Lawless Frontier, with the bounty system, I think this is the thing where we're going to be tested on time and resources and how we're going to kind of get these like bounties done. And it looked really exciting. It really did. It's kind of, it's got that Destiny
Feel to it.
like, yeah, Destiny feel to it.
No, but I agree with you. Like, I have been using over the last week, I refuse to call it plunder the booties. I've been using Peroty's buddy build,
Yeah,
and that really lets me slip into the necromancer space wizard
yeah,
thought process. I am summoning all sorts of things to my, I was banging my head against the salt mines,
yeah,
something fierce, because I'm at 520, and I was just banging my heads against the salt. I had gotten through it once, and I was like, I can improve, I can improve. And I remember he'd been talking about it, and I asked in the Discord, and he sent me the link, and I built it out, and I took it into my Exodus Garden 2A is my training ground. The
yeah,
Cosmodrome Lost Sector. And so I took it out one of the days. It was the Legend Lost Sector, and once I got the loop down, I went into the salt mines, loaded up the things, and I just needed to be a conductor of my buddies. I don't
yeah.
really need to use my weapons, up until the baddie. I was just like, you guys over there, you guys over there, and you take this guy up here. And it really was back to the fantasy of, I'm a necromancer, and I've got all these different guys, and they're coming to ruin your day.
Yeah. And that was the kind of feeling that I got with the esoteric build on the Titans, just using the hammers. It was
Right.
like once I figured out that I needed to map the button to the throwing hammer so that I could be up close and still throw the hammer, I was
Right.
like away in that. It was just no weapons were used. It was just literally hammers and then super at the end. I was like, this is fun. I can do this. I can just repeatedly do this until I get that high value target, and then I'm then
Yeah.
through to it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was nice. Everything else they showed, I mean, it's
Were you
everything.
impressed with the new weapons though? The new kind of blasters that we're going to
Yes.
get?
Yes. The one I didn't see enough of, Mando's gun, as close as I had wanted to. But then the other thing was, I I'm sure I'm misremembering this, but I went back and looked at it twice. I could have swore I saw an Eye of Soul on the hilt of the Darksaber.
I think that is, but they haven't actually said anything apart from that. The only thing that DMG did say after they ran the dungeon trailer again at the end was that he wanted to remark that there will be different
Yeah,
crystals that are going to
color.
be
Yeah,
available for the new kinetic sword, the Praxic blade, that you can get from different activities, which is quite nice. You go and do one thing and you're definitely going to get that color from doing that thing. Like invasions, he said you'll get the red one basically. So yeah, maybe from doing the dungeon you get the black one that then turns it into the dark saber, and maybe there's an ornament that makes it look like
yeah,
it's from Trials. Because remember, we've got, I think, was it Outbreak Perfected has got that ornament that is Trialsy, but you
yeah,
don't necessarily need to go into Trials to get it. So there could be that as well, because they do like a bit of Eververse in there.
yes, they do. But, overall, I really liked what I saw. I thought they had good people. I'm glad that they had Lucasfilm people there to talk about the collaboration.
Yeah,
If it had just been the same people, it was nice to know that it wasn't just, okay, here's a license to our IP, come back and show us what you've done in 6 months. It
yeah,
sounds like they actually worked side by side. I am jealous of, when they showed the pictures of them at the meetings at Lucasfilm. I
yeah,
really got a little jealous in my heart. And but it was nice to see, because that was my thing with Destiny Rising, was Bungie just going to sign the IP over to NetEase and say, here you go. And by all accounts, it was more of a partnership.
yeah,
NetEase has made some interesting lore changes that are what they are, but it seems like a partnership. And this seemed like Lucasfilm really wants Bungie to succeed, and spent the time and the effort to help them. And
yeah.
the one question I didn't get answered in all of this was, how did this come about? Who called who? Who was like, who
I
was
would say
what?
Mercules. I'd
Mer-
say Mercules because Mercules used to do the Destiny Massive Breakdown. It
okay.
used to be Mercules and Cake Catcher, and it then kind of spawned the Players versus Enemies podcast, where they just talked about the PvE side of it, whereas the Massive Breakdowns would do the PvP side of it. But those two went to work at Bungie, and they also, at the same time as doing the Massive Breakdowns, did a Star Wars podcast as well, because they found that together talking that they had a passion for Star Wars. They're now working at Bungie on weapons and a lot of the things. And I think one of the guys on the couch did drop Mercury's name in it, that, you know, he was involved in making sure this for the weapons and things were there. So maybe it was a suggestion at one of the kind of, let's have a throw out any kind of suggestions at the meetings and see what we can kind of get going, because he has been there for quite some time now. So I
Nice.
reckon it's a suggestion from Mercules that it was kind of put in a box and everybody went, oh yeah, we could kind of get that kind of done. But I think it's a good point that you bring up with them working in collaboration with Lucasfilm rather than kind of just having a license to use Star Wars or use ideas from Star Wars. Actually working with them creates a better game, I think, because they're not just stuck in the Destiny 2 bubble. You're actually
Right.
working with other people that are on the outside that could go, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? And I think that's where where we've been missing something in Destiny 2 for quite some time, when they had Vicarious Vision and High Moon Studios working on those other expansions for the Forsaken expansion, that
Yep.
we saw something new and interesting and inviting into the game, and it was like, well, this is a really good collaboration, and it's a shame that they couldn't kind of continue to work with the team at Bungie, because it was just different people with different ideas coming in and just working together and feeding off of each other. And it's the same when you're at kind of university or college and you're working with in an art studio,
Right.
and you're so focused on your own work, but it's only when you kind of get to the point where you're showing the group your work, and somebody will come up with an idea that you didn't even think about, and you were like, oh yeah, I could run with that, and then somebody else throws in another idea, and the whole group discussion of people looking at your work and going, well, have you tried this, have you tried that, and it gives you some kind of tangible stuff to kind of go back with and say, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it kind of just snowballs from there. So I could see where it went from just kind of, we want to kind of do Star Wars Destiny to this, what we've got now. And yeah, I am so looking forward to it now, after seeing like only just like the snippets that we've got with the vidOCs and the live stream and the trailers, because I was wondering where we were going to kind of go with, okay, well, the 9 have got to be involved somehow. What's going to be the element that's going to be pulling us into, and why are we getting this new faction of Cabal, and what's the reason behind it? And it all kind of, well, I think it will all kind of make sense once we kind of get into the story.
Yeah. Well, Noble will be happy because I was talking to Allison Lurs on Blue Sky last night.
Ooh,
She's actually very approachable if you're respectable and
yeah,
and I said I loved everything. It was great. I said, can I suggest for the next
Star
crossover
Trek.
Star Trek? And I said Spock as the Warlock, Worf as the Titan, and Devon Attendee from Lower Decks. She has a character called the Mistress of the Constellation Moons, where she's a pirate, as the Hunter. And all I got was, you never know. So if it happens, Noble, it's due to me.
Yeah,
I will take all credit for
all
that.
credit for that one. Take the
Well,
all credit. Yeah. So, what do you think about the new exotics that we're getting for the Warlock, the Hunter, and the Titan? Are they interesting to you? Are they going to bring something new to the game, do you think? And we did see that in some of the trailers and the vidOCs, and when they were playing around in the Lawless Frontier, we could see some of those in action. But
well,
how do you feel about them at the moment?
my big question was, and I did not see this, is how does one get them? Is it legendary campaign again?
Probably they haven't answered that, but it is probably going to be legendary campaign.
Yeah.
You can
So I
get,
don't
yeah,
have any.
yeah.
I don't have any of the. I don't have any of the Warlock one looks interesting. I didn't really pay attention to the other two. The Warlock one, okay, that looks interesting. I'm more interested. I'll be honest. I'm much more interested in some of the exotic changes that are coming.
Yeah,
But we'll see. We'll see with the that they've got coming out. I guess the reason I'm so is that when Unoya was announced, I was like, oh my god, I've got to have this. Da 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 da.
yeah.
And then I started to hear some like gameplay, and I was like, is this really worth the time investment to go grind the campaign an entirely second time to get? And I was like, I just couldn't, justify that. What did you think about the new exotics that are being announced?
I'm interested in the Hunter one with the overshield, which looks pretty good, and how that kind of activates. And the Warlock one does look really good for strand builds, but
Right.
I'm not sure if it's going to take me off my gauntlets. I'm still going to be rocking my getaway artists with like solar turrets, arc turrets, and all those kind of things
Right.
on my prismatic build. I'm not sure if it's going to get me off of that.
No, it's hard to find. Once you find a build that works for you, it's really hard
Yeah,
to. And I've knowingly taken the penalty. I have been rocking a Geomag stabilizer, although I've swapped Mint Retrograde into the kinetic slot like everyone else in the game has. I've got the arc auto rifle from Vesper's Host. I have an attrition orbs jolting feedback one, and then Thunderlord. And that's basically been my go-to, general service build,
yeah,
since Edge of Fate dropped. And I've slowly gotten into some other ones, and as avant-garde has ceased to be necessary, especially with what they did with it with Call to Arms when they immediately got rid of it after
yeah,
one day. I like the new armor. I have all tier 5 armor on my 3 characters. I've got great builds, armor builds. There's just not the breadth of weapons yet
no,
for me to really branch away from the tried and the true. The one thing I'm working on every little bit here and there is getting a tier 5 Giver's Blessing. I'm an auto rifle man. I like auto rifles, so I'd like to get a tier 5 Giver's Blessing. But hopefully with Renegades there'll be enough infusion of new blood weapon wise, both obviously what we're seeing for Star Wars, but just the general world loot pool and the
yeah.
Crucible loot pool, that we can start to really make the justification to move over.
Yeah, I mean, we did see that, didn't we? We saw new Vanguard ops, we saw new Crucible ops, and the Pinnacle ops, and Trials of Osiris armor. But so
Right.
we've got Suros armor set for Crucible. They
Yep.
didn't name what it was in Vanguard. Kendo set for Pinnacle, and
Yep.
they didn't name the Trials of Osiris one. But we're getting new and returned weapons as well. So I think one of them was it Horror's Least as well, the pulse
Yeah,
rifle.
that sounds right. But the Horse Least isn't Horse Least a festival weapon?
No, it was a weapon that you could only get on the Dreaming City for doing. I can't remember now. I think it might have been just doing the Nightfall on the Dreaming City, but then they actually took it out of that and put it into the Nightfall rotation because it was part of a set that you could then finish out doing the Dreaming City quest. So it then went into that. So yeah,
Oh yeah, like GG says it's a Nightfall weapon.
yeah. So yeah, I've got a Horror's Least Adept, and I think I've still got an original one from. Or did I just mount that? Anyway, so you've got things like that are going to be updated with a new tier system,
Yep.
which are going to be really good.
Yes.
So yeah, it does sound, from what we're getting, it does sound that they've slightly addressed a lot of concerns of the weapons not having enough weapons. So we're bringing back some older weapons and putting them into the tiered system. We're giving you new weapons that are going to be part of the tiered system. You're getting new armor sets or new cosmetic armor sets. I'm not sure whether the armor sets, because they didn't actually say this, are going to have different set bonuses. Because at the moment, I like rocking the Bushido set for my Titan. So final blows with freshly drawn or reloaded weapons heal you, and then bows, shotguns, or sword final blows temporarily reduce incoming damage, and damaging targets with those weapons extends the effect. So at the moment I've been trying to get a Pinnacle Bushido set so that I could have with my strongholds with my sword build, so that I'm just constantly getting healing, or there's some kind of healing factor going on. So I don't know whether the new Pinnacle set that they've got in the Kendo armor set is going to have the same perks or the same set bonuses.
Right.
I'm hoping it does. It's just a different cosmetic, but we'll find that out next week, I guess.
Right.
So let's go over the dev insight for the Renegade ability tuning. Solar Gunslinger. They're going to get a big buff. So they're going to increase the damage against non-boss combatants by 15% and increase the damage against boss combatants by 26%. So this change removes the disparity between boss damage and non-boss damage. Golden Gun projectiles now scorch targets, 40 stacks base, plus 10 with increased stack fragments. And when fired inside a well of radiance, the Golden Gun now counts as radiant for increased damage. So that's a good change, because you had to step outside of it, which was a strange change that they made quite a while back when they were fiddling around with Well of Radiance, that you couldn't use your Golden Gun in there to do extra. Oh, you could to start off with, but then they kind of messed about with it.
Yeah.
Blade Barrage Super. It's increased the damage against combatants by 39%.
And that's the one I'm looking at, because that's the super I play when I play Hunter. Is I'm either Blade Barrage or the one where you stick the arc staff in someone.
Oh yeah, 39%. Is that going to be good for
you?
you?
I think that will be good against bosses. I think that will be pretty good, actually.
Yeah, because you've got your Shards of Galan or your Gauntlets, haven't you? That do. Is it the amount of hits that it does that it kind of returns the super damage, isn't it?
Yes.
What else do you have? Proximity, Explosive Knife, Weighted Knife, Lightweight Knife, and Knife Trick Melee. Increase the damage against red bar enemies by 50%. Increase the damage against other enemies by 36%. And the Lightweight Knife increased crit multiplier from 1.3 to 1.5. Acrobat's Dodge class ability increased passive energy regen in PvE by 112%. I suppose PvE it doesn't really matter, does it? But
no, not really.
Yeah, I think most of these are PvE unless they kind of say that it's PvP. Note the cooldown now matches Gambler's Dodge. This change allows you to buff your fire team more often. And Gunpowder Gamble Aspect. Shooting the dynamite in midair now increases damage by 50%, 5% in PvP, expands the radius, and creates submunitions. We did see that in the live stream, didn't we? There was quite a lot of, I'm going to throw this out and I'm going to shoot it. So there was, it was like...
There was a lot of that.
Yeah. Those little submunitions like the solar thing for the Warlock at the moment with the little ballie that does those. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
Night Stalker. So you're getting some changes to the Night Stalker. Now, I think, who was it? Azzacross was joking about this. He was like, now, is this immediately, like when I pull back the bow, it's immediate that it's kind of, because you've said this so many times, and I'm in total agreement. Like, when Bungie have said this many a time, so tether sources now attached to combatants on direct impact and increase the weaken effect from 30% to 35%. Deadfall Tether is now the strongest weaken in the game, and it says now immediately weakens and suppresses enemies in the area of effect on impact. And they've said that many a times, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
It's like, is it going to be immediate this time? Well, only time will tell. Shadow Shot Mobius Quiver Super. While the super is active, dealing damage now increases the power of subsequent Shadow Shot attacks and bow weapons. Ooh. Note this puts a bar on your screen that changes as you deal damage. When charged, your final shot or final two shots with the Orpheus rig deals significantly increased damage, turning it into one of the highest damage supers in the game, 227% max. So, yeah, that's putting it back on top, because I think it was one of the best before, wasn't it? When
it really was.
Yeah. Increasing the base super duration from 10 seconds to 16, increase Orpheus rig duration from 16 seconds to 20 seconds. Smoke Bomb Melee, increase the projectile lifetime after sticking to the surface from 3 seconds to 9 seconds. Reduce lingering smoke time in PvP from 5 seconds to 2 seconds. That's a welcome change. Reduce screen effects intensity and duration while in enemy smoke. Reduce the damage against players by 16%. Note, after seeing how previous smoke bombs changes landed in PvP, they're shifting smoke bombs back to being more of a misdirection tool than a damage tool. Thank you. Being hit directly with an enemy smoke will be less frustrating as a victim, while allowing it to be more effective to trap or decoy the user. Arc Striders. So, Storm's Edge Super. Passive energy regen increased by 25%, and the Tempest Strike aspect reduced damage against players by 16%. So is that the one?
Tempest
Is
Strike
that the?
I do.
Is that the one kind of you're running along and then you kind of do an uppercut?
Yeah,
With
you impale it in either the wall or a person.
No, the aspect where you're kind of just running, and you kind of do a slide and you
Oh,
you flick up
yeah.
like your
Yeah.
arc stick kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because that is really oppressive in PvP.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that's kind of being reduced. Stasis Revenant. They've got 2 Revenant changes this time around. Shatter Dive aspect. Shattering stasis crystals or enemies now grants frost armor. Note, any shatters grant 4 stacks in PvE and 2 stacks in PvP. And Silence and Squall Super increase the damage against combatants by 63%. I'm guessing that's all combatants. It doesn't really matter with PvP. If you're trapped in it, you're trapped in it. You're going down.
Exactly.
Strand Threadrunner. So Widow Silk aspect. Looking at a grapple tangle for a short time now overrides your grenade ability with a free non-offensive grapple. Note, this allows you to give grapple capabilities to fellow guardians who don't have strand or grapple equipped. Also works for the Navigator Exotic Trace Rifle. Grapple tangles created near to the ground now rise into the air shortly after creation. Grapple tangles base lifetime increased from 15 seconds to 20, and hitting an enemy with the grapple melee that wasn't free now creates a grapple tangle. And your Silk Strike Super increased passive energy regen by 11%, and increased the damage resistance during Super by 13%. All good changes for you so far?
I think so. I mean, I'm not a huge hunter player, but they sound very good. My kid plays hunter, and I think these are going to be things he'll like.
Also got Marksman Dodge ammo pickup buff to make it more consistent in PvP only. Gambler's Dodge nerf aimed at lowering ability spam and hunter dominance in the Crucible. And they're looking at a date for that. Looking at the data, Gambler's Dodge has doubled the usage of Marksman Dodge and has an outsized impact on the Crucible kills per minute and win rate. So the Marksman Dodge class ability increased ammo pickup radius from 10 meters to 15. And the Gambler's Dodge class ability in PvP only reduced the melee energy gain from 50 to 35. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Warlocks. Do you want to do Warlocks?
I will do Warlocks.
You can do Warlocks.
So, big one, Dawnblade. Increased damage against all combatants by 20. And projectiles now scorch, which I can't believe has taken this long to do.
Yeah, seeing as it's fire.
Yeah. Pair this with Dawn Chorus, and this is just going to be sick and unfair. And I apologize to all of you non-warlocks who we beat the crap out of with this. I mean, this is just with what they're doing with Dawn Course, this is just going to make it great. So Voidwalker, Nova Warp, Super. The primary attack now pulls enemies in. Attack damage against combatants is up by 15. Dark Blink now releases Weakening Seekers. I've never been the biggest fan of those guys. Vortex, so it repeatedly pulls enemies during its lifetime. Okay, that's good.
That's your Nova Bomb, isn't it?
That's the Nova Bomb. Stormcaller, which is what I've been repping now for almost a year. Storm Trance, that's your unlimited power. Darcidius Super, maximum sustained damage bonus from 50 to 65%. That's pretty good. Landfall Jolt goes up to 16%, 16 seconds. That's actually really good. Because that initial jolt time could feel a little
lackluster.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, you got to hit it or not hit it. Chaos Reach, which is what I've been using, increased damage against combatants by 20%. That will be nice. That will definitely make it a little beefier. As much as I love it, there have been some times where I felt like I've been a little weak, just plowing, my Chaos Reach into it.
Yeah.
Now, the one that I'm super happy is the next one. The Ionic Sentry no longer blinds us on creation. That is just, I am so happy to that, because if I misthrow it, man, I'm suffering the same way everybody else is, and I'm glad they're getting rid of that.
Yeah.
Lightning Surge on Prismatic, damage against players goes down by 16%. Shadebinder, Winter's Wrath has never been about the damage until now. We brought the DPS up to make this competitive, blah, blah, blah. Shatterwave damage against frozen targets is up by 210%. That is a very large number, you know?
Yeah.
I just never played it because it was weak and it felt weak.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been a huge fan of stasis, but stasis has some very good use cases, and this could definitely be a place where I'll look at it, you know, especially given the right exotic.
Situation?
Yeah, the
Oh,
right
okay. Yeah.
situation and the right exotic. I could definitely see going, okay, maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
But it's this is definitely something they've needed to do. Frost Pulse class ability, freeze radius is down to 5 meters and slows players between 5 and 8 meters. That's pretty decent. That's a good tuning. Broodweaver, Needles now prioritizes bosses, many bosses and champions over other enemies.
That's a good change.
That is a good change. I wonder if it's in that priority. You know, that would be
Hopefully.
that would be a good prioritization as well. So let's go to the subclass things. The big thing that I saw and was immediately in love with is if we're half speed or lower, we can rift. That's just freaking amazing.
Yeah, they showed that in the stream, didn't they? That
They
rifting
did.
while you're moving. It was like,
They
oh my
did.
god, that is
Now
amazing.
that looks like I'm probably going to have to figure. I'm gonna need to teach myself how to do that because it could be a little tetchy.
Yeah.
But I love it. Radius is up to 5 meters now, which is great. And powering rift recharge rate goes up by 20%. PvP only, the rate goes down by 10%. Okay, that's fair because it has been a little. If you get a good spot for it, it can be a little overpowering for you and your team. You've got everybody, you've got everybody a safe little place, and everybody heals right back up.
Yeah.
And I will turn Titan over to you.
Cool. Okay, so for the Titans, the Solar Sunbreaker. So the hammer throw melee impact damage now increases with the range. Note this damage increase is purely additive. The base damage is unchanged. Void Sentinel. So for our Titans out there who enjoy protecting their allies, this one is for you. Your shield will now auto-reload your allies' weapons and grant them an overshield. Additionally, using your super defensively will now supercharge your shield throw, giving you big damage payoff for protecting your team. So the Sentinel Shield Super, standing behind the shield now periodically reloads all weapons every 2.5 seconds, now grants a Void Overshield to allies behind the shield, damage bonus while behind the shield reduced from 40% to 25%, blocking attacks now extends the super lifetime, and blocking attacks and protecting allies now charges shield throw damage. Note this puts a bar on your screen that charges as you block attacks when the allies are behind your shield. When charged, your shield throw deals more damage and resets the bar. Arc Strider Titans. Fist of Havoc. Light attacks now increase the next heavy attack's damage. Stasis, so we have the Behemoth. When used during super, increases super energy cost from 5% to 15%. And Strand Berserker, this is a PvP change only to the Banner of War, which is a response to the player feedback that Banner of War melee bonus is oppressive to fight against. And Banner of War Aspect, melee damage bonus against players now scales with the stacks instead of always being at full strength. Note, unarmed melees can now one-shot players at 2 stacks with a 200 melee stat, or at 3 stacks with base stats. And for general abilities, Void, Suppressor Grenade, no longer suppresses the user, increased detonation damage by 10%. Spike Grenade now attaches to combatants. Well, again, it now attaches to combatants. Void Fragments reduce the negative stat on Echo of Undermining from -20 to -10. Echo of Provision now gives +10 grenade stat. Echo of Exchange now gives +10 to melee stat. And remove negative stats from all other fragments except Echo of Starvation and Echo of Persistence. Note, Void had more negative stats than any other damage type, so they've eased up on the penalties. Invisibility updated visuals to be slightly more visible in Crucible. Note, this is a response to Crucible feedback that invisibility is too effective. Of course it is, you're invisible. Overshield, enemy VFX now scales with the overshield's remaining health. Note, this was added to allow players to eyeball how much overshield an enemy has before deciding to engage. Arc, lightning grenades now attached to combatants. Cool. Flashbangs no longer blind the user and increase the detonation damage by 10%. Strand, threadlings. So threadlings that lose their targets before impact will land and look for another combatant instead of exploding. And note, this is to reduce the cases where your big gang of threadlings all explode on a single dreg. The result is that they feel smarter and more alive. So that's everything that we got for our Dev Insight for the Renegade Ability tuning preview on November 24th. Hello, Mr. Noble. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, hello, as always.
Back by popular demand, apparently. We had quite a few people, when you came on the show last, contact us via messaging on YouTube and...
Did you?
Yeah, an email saying that they want more Noble. Noble is demanded.
They're weird.
So Noble is here.
Weird people. Why would you want more of me?
I think it probably your friends. I think you've paid them to get you back on the show.
I don't know. I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to have a look.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have to put up with me clicking and clacking while I go to YouTube.
We're not. No, we are not clicking and clacking.
I wouldn't do that. Look, you're just a click. You're just a click. You're just there.
Yeah. Yeah. So this week we had our live stream on Tuesday, just before the update to the game. And I sat down and spoke with Renard this week and went over his views of the live stream. But as I've got you here now, how did you think it went? As a non-Star Wars fan, did it give you enough of a kind of Destiny feel without being over the top Star Wars to bring you back to, well, not bring you back, but get you excited to play Destiny again? Or was it too over the top? As a Star Wars fan, I can't really see it. But as a non-Star Wars excited fan, how did you think it went?
I think that they're relying upon Star Wars to try and bring people back.
Too much?
That's the long and short of it. Yeah. Yeah, everything. They even said at one point, it's the first time we've really done a story that's based around a different story. Oh, great, nice one. So I'm going to have to play Star Wars within my Destiny game. Nice one. If I wanted to play Star Wars, I'd have bought a Star Wars game, wouldn't I?
Technically, you did. I mean, Destiny's kind of Star-ish Wars-based. Sort of. Am I not selling this to you?
Just because both of them have got a big sphere in it, it doesn't mean that they are both Star Wars.
No, it doesn't. And yeah, I mean, we've got a new blaster type. We've got the lightsaber. We've got the bowcaster. And I mean, I was saying to Renard, we've got the element of the factions without the factions, but they're bringing different kind of factions in with like the enemy factions that we're kind of be working for. Well, and I'm kind of hoping that it goes past Renegades. I think
I am hoping that we get back to having factions, because one of the things I really miss is factions.
Yeah, I said that. I mean, they really missed a trick by kind of getting rid of the factions.
Yeah,
because this could have been part of the factions.
Honestly,
the enemies could have been integrated into the factions. You know, I mean, I don't know how they could have done it, but it could have been that they could have integrated it, and we could have sided with each faction. They didn't then have to make up extra factions that we now kind of working with.
Honestly, I feel like for all we complain that there's like a lack of things to do and everything else in Destiny these days, like faction rallies, when we used to have the faction rally, was just an awesome little bit of content that you used to get every now and again.
Yeah, very much similar to how we had with the events. Yeah,
the weapons were never, stupid. There were always just, there were some decent weapons, and then you always had the ability to, if you completely leveled up your faction, you got an exotic ornament.
Yep.
Which I remember I think it might still be.
No, they did put them back in the game. You were able to get them back again.
At one point, it was the only place you could get the Eye of Another World ornament for a really, really long time.
Yeah, you had to play that faction, and to get it done well, you had to side with in Destiny 2, you had to side with the faction that you knew that was going to win that time to get that ornament. And I think there was a weapon there was a weapon tied to it, an exotic weapon tied to it, and the ornament for whichever class item it was, or not class item, but for the armor piece.
It wasn't a weapon; it was a weapon catalyst. So the
Sunshot. Oh, it was the catalyst. Oh, that was it.
Sunshot, Graviton Lance, and
Risk.
Oh my god, the auto rifle that's basically a machine gun that you and Peroty both absolutely.
Oh yeah. Sweet Business. That was it. Yeah.
One.
So I'd like to see those the factions that we're now kind of getting improved on and kind of fleshed out even further, going past Renegades. Keep them in the game and keep it as part of the game. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, bring back the old factions in and tie them into maybe these factions, and they have connections to them, etc.
Yeah.
But that was quite good. I mean, what else did you see in the live stream that actually excited you about coming back and playing Destiny?
Some of the weapons.
Yeah.
I noticed, like as they were playing through, I noticed some of the weapons and thought that looks really familiar. And then I'd see it again and I'd be like, I know what that is. That's yeah. So like I've noticed that Oxygen SR3 is coming back.
Okay.
Which is the scout. It used to be a Pinnacle scout rifle that you used to get
Yep.
from. It was like Nightfalls and Strikes and all that sort of business. And it was so unbelievably rubbish, but at the same time, I just
Yes,
loved
it was, wasn't it? It was one of those things that everybody, they went and got it, and it was like, okay,
This is disappointing. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
still loved it. And its perks coming back because its perk was Mega Neura, and
Yeah.
Mega Neura's coming back as like a standard weapon perk, which I'm excited for. But yeah, there's like the scout rifle returning and whatnot, which sort of makes me excited. And I think, does that mean we're actually going to have scout rifles having a really good, solid place back in the game,
Yeah.
as opposed to it being certain scout rifles that really shine and the rest of them really don't.
Yeah. Did the the invasion game mode kind of get you a bit excited about a Gambit-y version-ish of that game mode?
It kind of yes, but kind of no.
Okay.
Because it kind of annoyed me that we've destroyed. I'm going to do my parody moment here.
Go on
It kind of destroyed me that we've got rid of Gambit and we've said, "Nah, Gambit's dead.
No,
we're not
no,
doing this, and we're not doing
it's
that."
not
we're
got rid
doing
of. It's not in the portal because they're working on it. They said they're working on it,
They said they were working on a,
and they said the
PvP
word
strike
Gambit
team a
in
long
the
time
live
ago,
stream,
didn't they?
so they're still aware that there is Gambit.
I mean, yeah, they're aware, but you know what? They still say the words Red War, don't they? But we still haven't got that.
No, they don't say the Red War.
But it just kind of annoyed me. Like, why are we not support? Just fix Gambit. Stop making things Gambit and just fix Gambit.
Maybe it is part of the larger part of that it would be integrated into a Gambit node so that Gambit is then extended even further. I mean, like we had with the Reckoning, and we had Gambit and Gambit Prime. There was that node was pretty big at one point, and there were so many different things that you could kind of do in it. Maybe this is their way of kind of bringing Gambit kind of games or modes into Gambit so that everybody kind of, you can go into that, well, it'll be in the portal, but go into that portal and play regular Gambit, or you can play this invasion version of the game mode that came with Renegades, so that it's not all still kind of tied to Renegades when they kind of mess about with the portal and activities.
Yeah, maybe, but I just sort Gambit out.
What about the bounties and going off and doing different things on the different planets and things like that? Is that okay with you, or is that too Star Warsy?
It's too Star Wars. It's just too Star Wars, isn't it?
Well, I would have thought the lightsaber or the Praxic blade would have been too Star Warsy for you. But are you okay with the Praxic blade?
No,
Okay.
no, not at all. Like, why?
Because I suppose if you're doing a Star Wars-esque story, you're working with Lucasfilm, and you get permission to use a lightsaber, because let's face it, there have been other games and other properties that may have wanted to use lightsabers or something similar, but haven't got the permission, whereas they've got permission to use it. They're going to tie it into Destiny lore and make it into something that is a lightsaber, but for Destiny. You're going to do it, aren't you?
No.
Yes,
I
you
mean,
are.
I can understand why they're doing it.
Yeah.
They've got a massive franchise at their feet saying, yeah, you can use it, go for it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? When at a point where, like your player base is plummeting or plummeted.
Yeah, but as I said to Renard, I don't think that when they had the plans for Renegade and they were working with Lucasfilm and they had this big picture and this big plan of what they were going to do with Destiny going forward past the Light and Dark saga, I don't think in their wildest dreams that they saw that it was going to be as bad as it is, and they would have to use Renegades to kind of be the thing to utilize to get people come back and play. I don't think that they ever thought that was going to be the case.
I don't know. I'm. How do you say it? Just
Exasperated.
I'm excited, but I'm nervous because I worry what it's going to do to me. If
It's
this
not going to
doesn't
convert you to
land.
loving Star Wars. It's not going to convert you to loving Star Wars. I can tell you that.
It's not going to convert me to loving Star Wars, not at all. But I just worry of what it's going to do if it doesn't land with me.
Okay. Yeah, because I suppose there's quite a lot of people out there that are very similar to you. Like, Star Wars isn't my thing. It's not my jam. It's not my bag. It's just
Yeah. And there's probably going to be a lot of those people that are in the same boat as me as well, in the fact on that, like we've gone 11 years playing Destiny. We've got biblical amount of hours sat in the game. And
Yeah.
as it stands at the moment, we struggle to even turn the game on. Now, if this season, when we aren't massive fans of Star Wars, doesn't land with us, when we've already been struggling, like, I worry about where it's going to leave that
Yeah.
percentage of the player base. Because I'm not saying it's going to be a massive percentage, because most people like Star Wars.
Yeah. But what it kind of does give us is another faction of Cabal that are going to be like bad in our universe that we can fight against. Because I suppose the problem is where you've kind of made friends with the Cabal, and we've got rid of most of the other Cabal, and it's just like a few stragglers on the EDZ that we kind of go and fight when we're kind of doing patrols and things like that. And the Hive are over there on Savathun's Throne World. And it's like, well, we've got all these different factions, and we've beaten all the big bads that were kind of controlling those. We've now got the 9 that are kind of manipulating time and space and things. So it makes sense to kind of bring, like, from either different timelines or kind of future or past into here to kind of test us and to fight against. So story wise, I could see that it kind of makes sense. And we haven't really had much Drifter story, which is quite nice, to actually a bit more of a kind of backstory with him and where he came from, because people always like a bit of a Drifter story.
I'm not sure I'm ready for another Drifter story, I'm going to be honest.
Oh, how can you say that to Drifter?
Because I'm not sure if I'm over the last bit of story that I got from Drifter when he had his little emotional breakdown about Eris.
Yeah, but he loves Eris. Don't say
that. I know, but that's what I mean. I aren't sure I'm over that bit yet to be ready for any more, because if they do what else to him and it's dirty on him, I'm just going to be like, oh, no, you can't. We just leave Drifter alone, poor guy.
Yeah.
He just wants you to play Gambit, which they don't even put into Portal. They've made his game dead. Then they tried deading his missus. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
Well, apart from that, like with the campaign and the story, we've also got like the game modes with like the bounties and the invasion thing. And then you've got dungeon, you've got exotic mission, you've got the dawning coming back, and then you've got all those other things that they listed in their content, not roadmap, but content calendar of things that will be coming in the next 3 months, roughly. So is that enough to kind of keep you playing, kind of thing?
That dungeon is it's calling.
There you go.
I am a fan of a dungeon, it could be said. Again, I don't want to say I'm excited because I'm so optimistic.
You tempered expectations and excitement, because you don't want to kind of.
No, I am excited. I am genuinely excited, but I'm trying to keep a lid on it, because I'm like, I really want it to be good. I really want it to be good.
And Bungie really want it to be good as well, and not for the reason we all think, but I think because they just want to make a good game or make a good expansion and get people playing.
I mean,
again.
Bungie want it to be good, don't they? Because let's face it, they need it to land.
Well, they do now. I mean, they needed it to be good to kind of keep the player base going and before, but now it's very different. So
now it's like that, as well as
there's a lot riding on this one.
Yeah, and I'm very much, like, there's a lot riding on it. Even for me, there's a lot riding on it, because I'm not Bungie. My livelihood doesn't depend upon this landing, but I need it to land because I'm nervous that it's going to push me further away from the game, and I really don't want it to. because I love this game and I need a reason to start playing it again. I need a reason for it to become addictive again.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that's going to come with this. But like I say, I am just trying to keep a lid on all that excitement because I don't want to get, giddy and flapping my arms up and down and all hyped up for it. And then it'd be like, oh, this is completely everything that I didn't want it to be. It's rubbish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm so scared. Which sounds really sad and pathetic, I know. But you know what? The reason I'm here is because I'm a Destiny fan. So I do need it to land because, yeah, it is a scary thought for me. It pushing me further away from this game because it's been such a lifeline of us all for years, hasn't it? You know what I mean? Like Peroty calls it, it's just been his comfort game.
Yeah.
And I feel a little bit lost without it, to be fair. I turn my PlayStation on or I turn my PC on or whatever I decide to play that day. And if it's not there, I'm like, oh. So what do I play today?
No, I totally get you with it. I do. Well, thanks for your kind of feedback on that. It was just interesting to hear another voice on what they thought about the live stream. But should we jump into This Week in Destiny for the 26th of November? There's a few things in here, not too much, because a lot of it has already kind of been talked about before. We've discussed the vidIQ, the trailer, the live stream as well. But we do have a preview of the new Artefact. They do go back over the new armor and weapons that are coming with Renegades. Check out the seasonal armor sets. We're going to, definitely. Bungie Store has some Black Friday deals that they told us about to keep our eye on. And open access week in Renegades. So we did get a new trailer at the beginning of the live stream. And then we had another vidIQ making of a Renegade, which was also in the live stream. But again, they broke it down on YouTube. So you can watch those, which I will link in the show notes. Especially for you, if you're going to do this dungeon race, Mr. Noble. So EvanF1997 and CB Grey will be hosting the Dungeon Zone live from Bungie HQ on December 13th. And the pre-show kicks off at 6 AM PT and features interviews with Bungie developers, previous Dungeon Race winners, and more. And for watching the official Dungeon Zone broadcast on Twitch for 1 hour, you can earn the Paranoia Pink emblem as a Twitch drop. So there you go, you can get that. And then they've got the official world's first trophy thing. I guess.
I don't know what it is, but it looks it looks like a war sat, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, 3 little war sats for you and your teammates. Or, I mean, you could do it solo if you're esoteric, I guess.
I'm not esoteric. I'm ESO, not that skilled.
Yeah, so the first fire team to conquer Equilibrium will receive these custom trophies as a testament to their achievement. And yeah, looks like an open war sat with an exotic in the middle. Could be.
Kind of looks like one, doesn't it?
Yeah. There is a registration form over on Bungie Help if you want to kind of get into that. Fill in that, get on it. And you've got to do it before December 13th at 9 AM PT to be eligible for the title of World's First. So we do have a new artifact going into Renegades, and this one is called the Encrypted Data Disk. So let's have a look. It looks more like the disc that they had in Rogue One. I don't know if you did you see Rogue One? Am I talking to myself here?
To be honest, mate, I think it looks like a pizza cutter in a box. Right?
Yeah.
I don't watch Star Wars. So it's a pizza cutter in a box. That's what I think it looks like.
Okay.
Presented somebody like a world's greatest pizza champion maker with a gold pizza cutter in a nice box. So there you go.
Yeah. So the artifact's going to provide some potential boosts for Guardian's Kinetic, Arc, and Void toolkits, whilst focusing on making your weapons the most dependable tools. Remember, these weapons are your life. Try not to lose them. And that definitely lost on you. But anyway, to pair the Guardian's new Praxic Blade comes a trio of sword mods emphasizing unique strike combos to gain potent payouts such as increased damage, unstoppable capabilities, or a whirlwind blade surrounding the user. So, we have in column 1, you're going to have anti-barrier hand cannon.
Yay.
Anti-barrier sniper,
Yay.
overload pulse rifle, and that does include the micro missile ones. Overload submachine guns, including the new heating up ones or heat management system submachine gun that we're getting. Unstoppable bow, so that's pretty cool. And then in column 3, we've also got riposte, which is shortly after guarding with a sword, your light and heavy attacks stun unshielded combatants, and that is strong against unstoppable champions. So we've got unstoppable bow and sword there. Column 2, impact shock and gravity. So grants access to the helmet mods, kinetic void siphon and kinetic arc siphon, and these mods combine element siphons at a discount cost. We have Gravic Voltaic Charge. While you have an Arc or Void super equipped, increase the maximum number of stacks of armor charges you can carry by 1. Expert Handling. Weapon final blows grant stacking bonus to stability, which resets on weapon reload or stow. Swords gain guard resistance.
That's going to be nice for you.
It is. I'm loving all the sword stuff. I'm so excited about the sword stuff and what I can do with this Praxic blade and blocking with my strongholds. I'm giddy at the thought of it. But anyway, fast draw. If the first shot shortly after reloading or readying your weapon is a precision hit, you gain flinch resistance. Elemental Siphon, rapid final blows with kinetic weapons or a weapon matching your super creates an elemental pickup that matches your equipped super. And then we have column 3, press the advantage. Breaking combatant shield grants increased weapon stability, handling and reload speed. Swords gain increased guard resistance. See, I don't need that with my sword.
No.
The strongholds just guard, that's it.
Yeah, it's completely irrelevant that for you.
Yeah. Kinetic synthesis. Sustained kinetic weapon damage and rapid final blows have a chance to generate a unique ammo brick. Collecting this brick will grant ammo to the equipped kinetic damage weapons and grant special and heavy ammo progress. Reload at range. Precision hits with bows and sniper rifles grant stacking bonus to their reload speed. And then we've got the riposte, which I've told you about, the unstoppable swords. Power from pain. Rapid final blows against weakened combatants grants you devour. So you can have devour without actually having devour. Dielectric. Defeating arc debuff targets grants bolt charge. Rapidly defeating arc debuff targets spawns an orb of power and heals a small portion of health. Armorsmith. Breaking a combatant's shield temporarily grants you damage resistance and increased melee damage. Counter energy. When you or a member of your fireteam stun a champion, you gain energy for your least charged ability. Combination Argent Blade. Briefly pause after executing a light attack, then follow it up with a light or heavy attack to empower your sword for a short time, granting it bonus damage and charge rate. Might be using that one. Singularity Blade. While you have a Void Elemental debuff, melee and sword hits weaken targets, while melee and sword final blows create a weakening burst. Might use that one as well. Column 5, Elemental Orbs, Arc. Arc final weapons have a chance to spawn an Arc Elemental Orb. Arc Orbs can be thrown or shot to create an arc explosion that jolts targets it damages.
See, that's just a war mind.
We've had that before, haven't we?
Yeah,
Generating those little.
Yeah, it's just a war mind.
Yeah.
Remember,
yeah, that
we
was
used to get war mind cells, didn't we? But we created.
Yes. And they took it out because it was part of the weapons, and they said that they'd be Yeah. Kinetic Rupture. Kinetic weapon damage against powerful combatants has a chance to create kinetic rupture. Targeting this rupture causes a damage explosion that staggers combatants. Strong against unstoppable champions. Sniper Meditation. Sniper rifle hits grant stacking sniper rifle damage, stability, and reload bonus for a short time. Heavy ammo sniper hits count as more than one hit. Sword Storm Combo. Performing 3 sword light attacks followed by a heavy attack, summon a penumbral blade that surrounds you to damage and disorient combatants. Sword final blows extend the duration of the penumbral blades. I might also be using that one then. And Void Infestation. Defeating a weakened target spawns a tracking projectile that weakens other targets. Is there any that kind of stand out to you that you'd be looking at using?
Kinetic Synthesis on the third column. What is it? Third column, second one down.
Yeah.
Sustained kinetic weapon damage. Final blows have a chance to generate a unique ammo brick. Collecting this brick will grant ammo to equipped kinetic damage weapons and grant special and heavy ammo progress. Kinetic damage weapons. That means I'm going to be able to use the. Now I'm going to forget the name of it. and it's going to
Blade?
really and it's going to really annoy me.
Not the Brexit Blade.
But the heavy trace rifle that you got.
When did I get it?
I don't think you've got it actually, but you need to do the free.
Oh, the.
I'm going to have to look it up and see what it's called. Sorry.
It's the mama one. Begins with M.
Yeah.
All in my brain.
Microcosm.
My brain kept going malfeasance, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not malfeasance. Stop telling me it's malfeasance.
Yeah, microcosm.
The microcosm, yes. Now I know what you mean.
So, because that's a kinetic damage weapon.
Is it though, or is it not Strand?
No, it's kinetic.
Okay, I'm just asking because as somebody that doesn't have it, I'm just checking.
Yeah, but now you're making me question myself. Yeah, it's kinetic damage. Knew it was kinetic damage. Knew it was. You made me question myself.
I was just checking.
Knew there was a reason I listen to this podcast every week, so I can shout at you and I can tell you all the answers to the things that I forget when I'm on the podcast.
Look what happened to you. You stumbled at the first thing you needed to say, and then people will be shouting at you. It's like it's all cut out.
Every week, without fail. It's this! Is it? Yeah, it's definitely that. Yep.
Oh dear. So yeah, I'm looking forward to some of those sword ones.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that kinetic synthesis because I just think with like some microcosm and whatnot, it'd be interesting to see what it does to that.
Yeah,
because that thing can put out some really good damage, especially paired with some other like really good damage sniper rifles. So you're going in and you're going against, barrier and overload, and you could take the trace rifle, as your exotic, some of the really nice legendary sniper rifles that we've got in the game, and like a simple pulse rifle submachine gun, and make yourself a real nice combo going on with some good damage output, some good opportunities, because there's a lot of really nice sniper rifles coming to the game that I need to get my hands on, and move on to the new tiered weapons as opposed to my crafted ones that I'm desperately trying to hold on. I'm desperately trying to hold on to them.
Well, you can still hang on to them. They still work. They do. They definitely still work.
They do, but then when I'm trying to do certain things with other people and they're like, "Oh, you haven't got any of the new weapons." I haven't got any of the new weapons. Oh, well, have you got any of the new? No, none of the new armor even.
No help whatsoever. Just at least you should at least keep one of the new weapons in each slot, so at least we could do stuff with avant-garde.
Yeah, anyway. I don't know who it was that was telling me off the other week because I didn't have any of the new weapons. And I had that's right.
Yeah, it was me.
Whoop.
Right, so you've got some new gear coming in Renegades, and you're going to have the blasters. Well, the heat management system blasters. So we've got the sniper rifle, the sidearm, the pulse rifle, the submachine gun, the hand cannon. I think there's 2 hand cannons. So, yeah.
There is that thing that I sent to you the other night. So there's 2 hand cannons coming to destinations.
Yep.
There's a 3rd hand cannon coming as a pinnacle weapon. And there's a 4th hand cannon coming in Trials of Osiris.
Oh, yes.
Oh, a 5th in Crucible. There you
probably
go.
A 6th in the dungeon. There's probably more in the dungeon as well.
No, I didn't look at the dungeon.
Oh, well. Didn't do your full research.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
The dungeon contains an auto rifle, a machine gun, a pulse rifle, a scout rifle, a sniper rifle, and a sword. Which I read as Sully's Claw, and I got really excited because I was like, "Oh, cool! Is it going to be blue and pink, purple? Is it going to be furry?" And then I realized, "Oh no, it says Sullen Claw. Never mind. No, it's not Sully."
Well, you can change the colour of some of your weapons, especially the Praxic blade. There will be some crystals that you can put in there. I'm not sure if you're kind of down with this, but
I'm going to need a red one, aren't I?
In a certain film, there are these kind of hilts of a sword that they put little crystals in, and whichever colour you put in changes the blade colour, and they've put that in Destiny. and you get them from doing different things in the game, it sounds like. So you probably get your blue standard one for just doing the campaign. And it sounds like you'd get the red one from doing invasions. And then
I'm going to have to find the red
I think
one.
we've seen green, we've seen yellow. I'm betting there's a purple. There's got to be something else in Trials. There's going to be them all over the place. So,
Trials has got to be yellow, let's face it.
Yeah, there you go. Trials yellow.
Like a yellowy goldy
it's
type.
Fully customizable. Very fully customizable.
I mean, it's about time they made like customizable exotics realistically, other than skins.
Well, I mean, you can with the crafted ones that you can go back and get the catalysts and do different crafting parts of them. So
no, I meant like visually.
Yeah, No, but they will also be able to do different things as well, depending on the crystal that you put in does different things.
If a red one gives me friendly fire, I am definitely having a red one.
You're vicious.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? There's only one person that I've really played the game with the last couple of weeks as well. She's definitely going to need that sword build if there's a red one that allows friendly fire.
And we did see in the live stream that the Service of Luzaku, which was the new exotic submachine gun that's coming, and that sounds like it's going to be on the reward track. So I think it's 1 if it's the paid reward track, and 30 or 35 or 40 if you have the free track. And then they did in the live stream, they also showed us like the new Trials gear on the live stream, but they didn't go over the armor bonuses, and I'm not going to here because I would tell you about that in the upcoming This Week in Destiny. This is your weekly rundown for Destiny 2 Renegades. Week 1 starting on December 2nd. This week sees the release of the new expansion for Destiny 2, Renegades, sending Guardians deep into the belly of the criminal underworld to save a friend whose past has caught up with them, as you forge uneasy alliances that pull you deeper into a hidden world of shifting loyalties and escalating conflict, where you will have to earn your power and build up your notoriety with the 3 syndicates: the Pikers, Totality Division, and Tharsis Reformation. In Renegades you will have the chance to unlock and earn Renegade abilities, from drop pods, turrets, airstrikes, Cabal Walkers, and Interceptors, with 9 abilities and 7 upgrades. Renegades also brings with it a new artifact called the Encrypted Data Disk, which will have anti-barrier hand cannon and sniper, overload pulse rifle and submachine gun, an unstoppable bow and sword. This expansion will take us back to some familiar locations, including revisiting Mars, Europa, and Venus. Along with a new campaign for Renegades, we also have the Lawless Frontier Bounty activity, Invasion Game Mode, a new exotic mission, 300 more vault spaces, and a power catch-up for returning players, plus much more. This expansion will also see 3 new exotic armors added to our Guardians. For the Warlocks, the Dimmer Suffusion helmet, for the Hunters, the Fortune's Favour boots, and for the Titans, the Practic Vestment chest, with 3 new exotic weapons: the Service of Luzaku Strand machine gun, the Heirloom Solar Combat bow, and the fully customizable Praxic Blade kinetic exotic sword. We're also getting a new blaster weapon type with a heat management system. These are the Uncivil Disclosure hand cannon, the refurbished A499 heavy sniper rifle, the M17 fast talker submachine gun, the modified B7 pistol hand cannon, the All or Nothing pulse rifle, and the Combat Defender sidearm. Plus new Vanguard Ops weapons and armour, new and returning Crucible Ops weapons with 3 new Surus armour sets for each class, new and returning Pinnacle Ops weapons with 3 new Kendo armour sets for each class, and 3 new sets of Trials armour for each class, called the new Demotic set, which will have new set bonuses. 2 pieces will give you the perk Peroty, primary ammo weapons gain a bonus to flinch resistance after sliding, and 4 pieces will give you the perk Martingale. Your weapons gain a temporary increase to handling and aim down sight speeds when an ally is defeated or you revive an ally. Trials also brings with it some reprised weapons, with the Immortal Strand Aggressive Range Submachine Gun, the Astral Horizon Kinetic Aggressive Range Shotgun, and the Cataract GR3 Strand Adaptive Frame Grenade Launcher, with a new Martlet Void Lightweight Frame Pulse Rifle, and the Conundrum Hammer Strand Adaptive Frame Hand Cannon. Dropping from the Flawless chest at the Lighthouse will be a new shader, Benevolent to the 9, the Hieratic Ghost Shell, the Kiting King Ship, and the Sunchaser Sparrow. Trials of Osiris will return on December 19th, with every weekend having its own featured weapon, starting with the Conundrum Hammer and followed by the Martlet on December 26th. Renewed activities and new additions will be added into the portal, with challenges now being removed in favour of the new Orders system, which will feature common, legendary and exotic orders to complete. Plus, starting December 2nd, Destiny 2 will be having an open access week, which includes access to the full Edge of Fate campaign and activities, all legacy content, and all currently available dungeons, with all currencies, weapons, armour, titles, triumphs, and cosmetics that players earn during the week being theirs to keep forever. Also, in preparation for the Renegades update and pre-install, Destiny 2 will be brought offline for maintenance from 7:55 AM PST, at which time you should be able to pre-install the update in time for the game coming back online at 9 AM PST. And as this is the first week of the new expansion, Eververse won't be available until the game goes live on December 2nd, but stay tuned to this channel for the updated Week 1's videos for any missed information. In the Portal Crucible Pops this week should be competitive, control, and a variant of cutting edge, with no Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Other non-featured modes of 3v3 Showdown and 6v6 Mayhem can be found over on the Crucible Director. In the solo ops we should still have Skywatch, the Salt Mines, the Conflux, Creation, K1 Logistics, and Caldera, with a new solo op, Typhoon Imperator. In the fire team ops we should still have the 3 Reclaim missions, Cabal's Watch, Conductor's Keep, and Fallen Bunker, Battlegrounds Behemoth, and Episode Echo's Core, 3 expeditions from Season of Plunder, Nessus, Cosmodrome, and Europa, the Strikes of Liminality, Hypernet Current, Insight Terminus, and Fallen Saber, with the Devil's Lair, Proving Grounds, Inverted Spire, and the Glassway, Battlegrounds Oracle, Foothold, Delve, and Conduit, Empire Hunts the Warrior, Technocrat, and Dark Priestess, Savathûn Spire Offensive, with the return of the Sunless Cell Strike. We also have the introduction of the new Arena Ops to the Portal, with Season of Plunders, Catch Crash, Season of Loss, Astral Alignment, and Season of the Haunted's Nightmare Containment. In the Pinnacle Watch we should still have the 3 dungeon layers, Pit of Heresy Beneath the Necropolis, Duality Nightmare of Golron, and Warlord's Ruin Heaven's Vengeance, with Onslaught Widow's Court and Midtown, Episode Revenant Contest of Elders, and The Coil. This season will also see the addition of the Vox Obscura exotic mission for Season of the Risen, with the Dead Messenger exotic Waveframe Grenade Launcher as the main reward, and Episode Heresy's Derealize mission, for the Baradide exotic submachine gun. Returning exotic missions should include Heliostat, with the Wolfsbane exotic axe as the main reward, exotic missions Presage with the Dead Man's Tale exotic scout rifle being the main reward, Node Override Avalon with the Vexcalibur exotic glaive being the main reward, Starcrossed with the Witchkeeper exotic bow being the main reward, the Whisper with the Whisper of the Worm exotic sniper being the main reward, Kel's Fall with the Slayer's Fang exotic shotgun being the main reward, and Encore with the Choir of One auto rifle being the main reward. On Kepler, featured mission 1 this week should be Quarantine, and featured mission 2 should be Message. With this being a new expansion, some or all of our legacy rotations might also be reset as well, but if they continue in the same order that they've done in the past year, then the Dreaming City this week is at a strong curse level, which means Petrevenge can be found in Ria Silvia and has the Dark Monastery mission for the next week. The Blindwell features Taken Enemies and the Plague by Namina. The Ascendant Challenge will be Ouroboros over in the Full Interest Lost Sector. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is in the Deep. The Trove Guardian and the Wandering Nightmare, Jax, Claws of Zevra Wrath are both located in the Hellmouth. Nightmare hunts Skolus, Pride, Omnigul, Anguish, and Zydron Servitude. The Altars of Sorrow will start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Fogoth and the Blasphemer Shotgun. On Europa this week, Praxisi Technocrat will be the Empire Hunt, Cadmus Ridge will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Safeguard. Dares of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Hive, Fallen, and Valister Arc. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Wild Hunt armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with Weapon Set 1. Arsenic Bite 4B, Blasper 2, Corsair's Wrath, Deafening Whisper, Dire Promise, Enigma's Draw, Escape Velocity, Giant 7 Rifle, Friction Fire, Royal Chase, True Prophecy, and Timeline's Vertex. The Witch Queen weekly story mission is The Ritual, Altar of Reflections Catalyst, and Altar of Reflections Pact. The Wellspring activity will start the week on Defense, with Void Sniper, Father Sin, and Zurich, Scorn Raider as the boss. The Lightfall weekly mission is Desperate Measures, the Partition mission will be Hard Reset, and the Vex Incursion will be Liming Harbour. In the Pale Heart is the exotic class item mission Dual Destiny, and the 12 Guardian Match-Made Excision mission, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergosum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. With a new expansion, we might also have a legendary Lost Sector shakeup, meaning we won't know the order of the Lost Sectors until we've had a full rotation. But if they continue in the same rotation, the Lost Sectors for this week will start with Vel's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City, Scavenger's Den on the EDZ, Perdition on Europa, K1 Revelations on the Moon, Gilded Precept on Neptune, the Conflux on Nessus, Extraction on the Throne World, and the Forgotten Deep in the Pale Heart. All legacy raids and challenges are now available all the time, and at present there are also no featured raids or dungeons each week, but you can find past raids and dungeons for their respective exotic weapons, with no weekly lockouts. Over on Kepler we have the Desert Perpetual Raid, and Desert Perpetual Epic Raid, with both versions dropping tier +3 loot. with the chance for the exotic rocket launcher Whirling Ovation to drop. Also, with a new dungeon, Equilibrium, coming next week, the Sundered Doctrine dungeon over on the Throne World will fall under Legacy content, where you'll be able to farm for the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality Zager. The exotic mission rotator will be Presage, with the Dead Man's Tale exotic scout rifle being the main reward. The Season the Haunted, and opulent weapon sets, plus the Idolium Pursuant armor set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and Zero Hour, will also be available in the Legends tab. And that's it for the first week of Destiny 2 Renegades. And then we've got the Dawning armor. Now, when I first saw that, I thought, I mean, they showed the picture with just like the little ears, and they said it was wolves. But I thought it was cats to start off with. I thought, hang on a minute, we're getting another cat hat. Yeah, I suppose you could interpret it to be a cat, but we're getting wolf armor. So that's pretty cool. Are you a fan of Dawning armor?
Can't say I was a fan of it, no.
No.
I thought it looked a little bit like watered down wolves, like I don't know. Maybe they were from where's the picture of it? There it is. Yeah, like maybe they were the wolves from Twilight or something. I don't know, but they didn't look very wolf-like to me.
No, they're not Twilight wolves. They're just
the sparkly bit. Look, they've got sparkly bits on them.
No, that's the vampires.
Yes, but I think it's a little bit Twilight.
No. You're mixing the genre of species in a film. Just no.
There's just sparkly things and wolves, and there's just a little bit Twilight. Not a fan. I know it's two separate things. Just
the Dawning will be kicking off on December 16th, and it will be running for 3 weeks. So we've got the 16th to the 22nd, the 23rd to the 29th, and the 30th of December, right up until the 5th of January. So it's going to be a 3-week event. So if you are off at Christmas, you do have some time to play the game, bake some cookies, and earn your Dawning armor, because you can use Bright Dust for it if you've got enough Bright Dust. And I do believe it's 6,000 Bright Dust or 1,500 silver for each one. So if you want to get all 3 sets for all classes, you're going to need 18,000 Bright Dust to get those.
Which, may I add as well, them going back to a 3-week event is basically, in like layman's terms, is the first 2 weeks it's going to be broken, so just wait for the third. And we're going to give you it as a 3-week event so that it looks like we were going to do that all along. Because so many of your other events gone on recently.
But they've got some more details of that coming up later, because what they'll probably do is they'll do a TWAB. We've got, how many more weeks have we got left? So we'll have a TWAB next week on the 4th of December. Probably one on the 11th and possibly one on the 18th. And then it'll be radio silence for 3 weeks, because the week after that is Christmas Day, then New Year's Day, and then the 8th of January. So we're possibly going to have a 3-week break from TWAB information. They'll be back on the 15th of January after that. So, yeah, we've only got like maybe a possibility of 3 more weeks of TWABs and information. So we'll get some more information about what's coming with the Dawning.
Which means Christmas specials coming. No? No?
Is it? I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
Oh,
Look,
here we go.
We get to every year around this time and I panic because I'm like, do we do a Christmas special?
What are we going to do?
What are we going to do? And not last year, but the years before that, we've always just kind of put something together on the day. And because Christmas never kind of has fallen on the time that we were doing the recording, or if we did, we moved it kind of thing. So it was fine. And,
do you know what I think we should do this year?
What do you think we should do this year?
I think that this year, while there's 3 weeks of no information, we should take those 3 weeks to find somebody that's really good with old laptops. Do we know where we're going here?
Sorry, you cut out there. What's going on? Anyway, we're going to continue talking about Renegade stuff. So, again, in the TWAB, they list everything that they've kind of gone over. So we've got the Renegades content calendar, vidIQ 1, the new Equilibrium dungeon trailer, no power reset, the new orders system, bus for returning players, 300 more vault spaces, exotic ornament customization, introduction to the Vanguard alerts, which are going to be coming in week 2, along with the dungeon. And then week 3, we're getting trials again. Weapon tuning preview, armor tuning preview, and ability tuning preview, which we've already kind of detailed, so we don't need to go over it again. Let's move on to the Destiny 2 Open Access Week. So to celebrate the launch of Destiny 2 Renegades, they're inviting players to another Open Access Week alongside its release. So from December 2nd at 9 AM PT to December 9th at 9:59 AM PT, all currently available Destiny 2 expansions, raids, dungeons, and content packs will be available to play at no extra cost on all supported storefronts. So that's Steam, PlayStation Store, Microsoft Store, Xbox, and PC, Epic Games Store as well. So, yeah, you get access to all of that, and you get to keep whatever you earn. So it's keepsies, no takesies.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the weapons still, and I've just stumbled across a picture of that service of Lizuku, and it just looks so cool.
Well, as you are here, and you are the standing Peroty of the week, can we have the Nobles player support report, please?
Oh, everything's broken. Don't bother. Go home.
No, it doesn't say that. It gives you important information, and then there's some known issues.
If broken, go home. No, right. Let me scroll down because I was busy looking at that picture. There's no, what? Oh, right. So, yeah, there we go. Look, I've caught up with myself. Maintenance for Destiny 2 Update 9.5.0 will begin on Tuesday, December 2nd. Following is a timeline of events. At 7:55 AM PST, Destiny 2 is brought offline. At 8 AM PST, the preload or update 9.5.0 will be available on all platforms. At 9 AM, exactly an hour later, Destiny 2 will be brought back online and update 9.5.0 will be available on all platforms and regions. Players will be able to start playing at this time. I knew you were going to say, yeah. I read that, Bungie. See you right there.
Yeah,
11 AM PST.
We can play.
It's even in bold.
Yeah.
11 AM PST.
That's confidence.
Yeah, it's confidence, that, isn't it? Destiny 2 maintenance is scheduled to be completed. Now, you see, scheduled, that's a good word. That should have been, players will be scheduled to be able to play.
No. What they're going to do is they're going to turn it on, and they guarantee players will be able to start playing. Whether you'll be able to start playing effectively, efficiently, and the right game is another thing.
Yeah, you can play,
the right version of the game.
You can play, but can you complete? That's a different question.
Will it keep kicking you back to orbit, kicking you back to the title screen? Possibly.
More than likely. The preload for update 9.5.0 will be available prior to the game's release. Below are preload times and instructions based on platform. So, for PlayStation users like myself, beginning on December 2nd, 2025, after 8 AM PST, I don't even know what UTC stands for. Who knows? Users can start pre-downloading update 9.5.0.0.0.0, right? Yep. By navigating to Destiny 2, pressing the options button and selecting check for updates. In an effort to decrease server loads, some PlayStation users may be able to pre-download update 9.5.0 starting on November the 30th, 2025 after 8 AM PST if they have auto upload/download enabled on their PlayStation. For instructions on how to set up auto update/download, please click here, but don't click here because you can't click my writing, my text, my voice.
Yeah.
One of those. Preload for Xbox will be available shortly. Oh, this is for Xbox. Yeah, preload for Xbox will be available shortly after Destiny 2 is taken offline for expected maintenance at December 2nd, 2025, 8 AM PST. For instructions on how to set up auto update, go to the TWAB and click just there. Steam, preload for Steam will be available shortly after Destiny 2 is taken offline for expected maintenance at December 2nd, 2025, 8 AM PST. Update 9.5.0 should be automatically added to the download queue once it is available to preload. For more information on managing Steam downloads and updates, go to the TWAB and click just there. Epic Games Store, yeah, same, 8 AM PST. Should automatic. Microsoft Store, same again. Storage requirements. Lower the updated storage requirements for Renegades. For PlayStation 5, it's 130. No. Nope. It's 173. I got my 3 and the 7 the wrong way around. 173.5 gigs. That's a lot. PlayStation 4, 172.5 gigs. Xbox Series X/S, 171 gigs. Xbox One, 161 gigs. Steam, 170.3. Epic Games Store, 170. And the Microsoft Store, 159 gigs. This is a big game. There's some small print. Destiny 2 install size may vary based on language installed. Size is shown as a maximum size possible. I mean, you're going to be struggling to listen to me if your language isn't English, so I'm hoping that we'll all be on the same. PlayStation 4 includes current installed. Yeah. No one cares about this small print. Known issues list. Adrenaline Junkie is not activating by kills from Helion. Submersion bolts appear in the air after reloading with auto-loading holster. The Desert Perpetual vendor is checking for space in the kinetic slot inventory instead of the energy slot when players attempt to purchase the Epic Raid version of Cusps. That is a word. I am sure that's a word. Sempiternal. Sounds fine to me. Players are reporting occasional audio dropouts in PvP activities still.
Yep.
Some Xbox players are reporting game performance issues when inspecting or using holofoil variants of Ribbon-Tail. Tier 5 Call to Arms weapons can drop with a visual issue, causing them to incorrectly display as a Tier 6 weapon. These drops will be corrected to display their intended Tier 5 state in a future update. The coil activity is not giving players additional revive tokens, causing it to be more difficult to complete than intended. Contest of Elders is applying negative modifiers that are not outlined or selected in specific rooms. The Hunter Prismatic Grenade will dislodge from an enemy if it is subsequently hit with an area denial frame grenade launcher. Arc chaining from the lethal current aspect is not activating combination blow. Players who earn the Epic Raid version of Cusp, oh my god, it's that word again, Sempiternal, are unable to purchase higher tier versions from the raid vendor. Heavy crossbows are not piercing non-champion immunity shields with anti-barrier bow equipped. The lower portion of the Chroma Cloak robes? The lower portion of the Chroma Cloak robes do not receive the intended VFX when activating Transcendence. Competitive Spirit Gloves ornament creates floating textures, and we've deployed a fix for a rare crash bug related to activity bubbles on Kepler.
Cool.
There you go. That took me some doing, did that? I caught that not being able to read bug that you and Peroty suffer with.
Yep. That's amateur hour.
Yeah, that's
on Two Titans and a Hunter.
that's a thing.
Yeah. It's always been a thing. We were set up with that, and we just kind of it's a known issue that just has never gone away.
Yeah, you just completely lose ability to read for a minute.
Yep.
Joy.
So we've got some art of the week and a movie of the week, and that's it. It's done, dusted. We are ready for Renegades.
Kind of.
Yeah, we are. So thank you very much, Mr. Noble, for coming back again. As the fans have demanded, you have returned.
I never saw, I went to YouTube and I had a look. I never saw any demand for me come back.
There was demand. People demanded. There were comments. People commented.
I think the demand was from you because you didn't want to have to talk to yourself for this entire week.
Could have been that as well, but yeah. So yeah, thank you to you, and thank you to Mr. Renard Calant for helping me out at the beginning of the show. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Robot Peroty, or
Peroty?
Yeah, that one. The one that can do the patrons, to say thank you to the patrons and close the show.
Can you give him a really funny voice?
I can do anything.
Yeah, give him a really funny voice. Like if Peroty did a helium balloon.
Like a chipmunk. You want Peroty to sound like a chipmunk.
Yeah, like Peroty as a chipmunk. That'd be fantastic. Right. I didn't request that, though.
Peroty, I just want to, if you do listen to this, right, this is a request from a patron. I have to do it. It's in the writing.
That's true.
It's a patron request. So
I've been a
here
patron for a
is
lot of years as well now.
Robots AI Chipmunk Peroty to say thank you for everything.
Hello there, it is I, Peroty 2.0, back again to tell you how amazing our patrons are.
These fine members of our community help support our lovely show each and every week. You can't threaten him with a good time, Mr. Renard Gallant. But these fine people are trying real hard to throw more grenades at him. Wart Wizard, Golden God 1562, Noble, The Man Conan from Texas, and Feral. If you too would like to support the show, then head on over to patreon.com/TTAH and choose the tier you'd like to join. Then you too can get a massive shout out from Peroty, or Peroty 2.0, sounding like Alvin from the Chipmunks. And as that's it from us this week, that leaves me to say, thank you for joining us this week. Your Titans are Peroty and Nitedemon and Noble. Your Warlock has been Mr. Renard Gallant. You can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. We are everywhere and anywhere. Just search Two Titans and a Hunter. You can email us with opinions and feedback at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. Please subscribe to us on YouTube for each new episode, Ada1 shader videos, and Eververse goods, each and every week. All our shows and notes live at twotitansandahunter.com. And if you want to join the Otter Dance Troupe, threaten us with a good time, or throw more grenades, then you too can join our other lovely, appreciated patrons at patreon.com/TTAH. But if you're looking for a more casual encounter, you can drop a donation in our coffee account at kofi.com/twotitansandahunter. We also stream our shenanigans over on Twitch, family friendly of course. Just head on over to twitch.tv/twotitansandahunter and hit that notification button so you know before we know we go live. It's that simple.
And as I'm an AI replacement and they've all gone home, it's my duty to say goodbye.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
Thank you from me as well, guys. Cheers.
No, that's it. It's over and done with.
Right, fine.
I know I haven't clicked the button, but I'm going to click the button and then it's going to stop.
Bye.
Now you can say goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
No, you cut
been
out
a
again.
pleasure.
You just went goodbye.
Oh.
Goodbye. Goodbye. It's like, what's goodbye?
Good.
You have to speak up. Speak into the microphone. Get closer.
I know Peroty does the ASMR bit, not me. That's not what I do.
Now get close to the microphone so that we can hear you and you don't cut out.
Right. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to these wonderful, wonderful people. Pleasure.
You're part of the wonderful, wonderful people this week.
No, well, I mean this week, yeah, but normally, guys.
Fair enough.
I'm just trying to be nice. Just take the.
I know. I am. Taken, put in my bag. I've kept it. There you go.
It's like a best dressed thing.